Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and finally, the whirlwind week of Gamescom is slowing down. Xbox has a major presence throughout the entirety of Gamescom with their own showcase, which I don't know if it needed to exist, especially because a lot of the content that they had that people were looking for, like a Crossfire X update, a new Age of Empires trailer, they put in Jeff Keighley's show alongside the big daddy of them all, which would be the Halo Infinite release date. After months and months of speculation, rumors, leaks, we finally got it, ladies and gentlemen. It's here alongside a new trailer. We've also got some information on a new console, a new controller. We're going through all of it in this Halo Infinite news update. So if you're here for Xbox news and information and the occasional Halo update, got you covered. Your boy is here. Now, let's talk Halo Infinite release date. So with this new trailer, they posted on the waypoint that the road through 2021 has been an exciting one, Spartans, but here at the tail end of August, we're especially glad to see you. Throughout the last year, we've been doing our very best to keep you posted on all of our latest Halo Infinite developments, be it through Inside Infinite blog series, the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase, or of course, the annual celebration out in Germany, Gamescom. We're thankful that so many of you have joined us on this journey, whether you just peeked in your head into Halo Waypoint to take a look, or you're a full-fledged Halo insider that helped us test Halo Infinite during the technical preview. We couldn't be more humbled. That's why today we're thrilled to announce Halo Infinite will release on December 8th, 2021 for Xbox and PC. Okay, let's talk platform announcement, and then we'll talk the nature of this release date first, because I got a bone to pick here, because Xbox had this whole showcase to themselves where everyone was looking, and they didn't announce Halo. Now, the justification for that was, well, you got Gamescom with Jeff Keighley, big platform, tons of numbers, more Xbox fans will see it, of course, but on top of that, more importantly, PlayStation and Nintendo fans will see it and go, hey, I kind of want that. So I thought that was a fair point to make. We don't see any gameplay there, whether it be for the campaign or the multiplayer. And then, not only that, but this was in the middle of the showcase. This was amongst a bunch of other pretty great announcements. And so the show really had some steam, but I was looking at it going, this is just another piece of the puzzle here. It's kind of one of those, finally. Where I thought it would have had a bigger presence at the Xbox showcase alongside things like Crossfire X, which just felt stuffed in there. So just a little bit of criticism on that front that I hope Xbox chooses to organize things a little bit better next time around, because it felt a little shuffled here. But that's really not important in the scheme of things. What's truly important is this date. I love that Halo Infinite is coming out in December. Of course, I would have loved it if everything was releasing at once. I feel like there's a bit of feature creep happening with the Halo series as AAA development gets more complicated and expensive. But yeah, I would love for everything to be there at once, and that would have led to a 2022 delay. But I was really hoping that they didn't cave to the pressure of it would be perfect, November 15th. It's the anniversary date. Release it then. It's a big Halo celebration. But even if one more month makes a difference in some fine-tuning, please do it. So seeing them release right at the beginning of December shows to me that they are willing to launch in the holiday period, but they're not trying to capture your Black Friday sales. In a way they are. We'll talk about that later in the video. But on top of that, as an Xbox fan, like many of you out there are, and I am an Xbox player and fan too, it is nice to see Xbox finally has something they have not had in a while, a busy holiday window. If you count Game Pass Day 1 releases, you've got something to play every single month for Xbox, and that's not including exclusives, right? So you've got something like Age of Empires, and you can look at that and go, oh, that's not an exclusive for me. That's coming out in October. It's on PC only. But then you've got something like Back 4 Blood, which is across all Game Pass services. And so that's something for Xbox fans in its ecosystem. And then you have Forza Horizon 5, which has room to breathe now, of course, and it's going to be a dominant game coming out in November. And then you cap it off with Halo Infinite in December, and then that's not including an indie gem like The Gunk or something along the lines of that snowboarding game Shredders, which is coming out in December. So Xbox is stacked. Like, every month has layers of content, and I know a lot of people might go like, oh, I don't want this to get drowned out or this to get drowned out. They actually have content. I'm going to be the last person to complain about that, because we're talking about the company that launched their console last year with a EA Game Pass enrollment, and that was really it. Okay, and that was exciting on a value perspective, but there were no games, just next-gen updates at launch. So finally, Xbox fans have stuff to play. On the broader spectrum, I think that's very exciting. But for Halo Infinite, I'm just happy they're taking as much time as possible and getting it out in 2021. I still have mild concerns. I thought no campaign gameplay at Gamescom was a little bit surprising again. I don't know when we're going to see a look at this point in time, I mean, how long are we going to wait to see it again? Last time we saw it was not really the best showing of it. I know they don't want to show too much story details, but we keep getting these cinematic trailers over and over and over again. And I would just really like to get another glimpse at the campaign. Just another solid look at things. With all of the progression that we saw in the multiplayer reveal, I think it's time that we see just how that's carried over into the campaign space, because I think that's where some people's concerns lies, where the bugs and glitches and problems can all start to crop up, because the technical preview for multiplayer, at least on a level of is this fun, was encouraging to say the least. So time will tell on when they start talking about this more and more, but the way that it was revealed and the timing of it within the showcase, like I thought it would have been a show ender, not even because I just cover Xbox, but because they waited to reveal it in this Gamescom showcase instead of their own. I thought to myself, like, it was sort of shrouded. But if there's one thing that they're loud about, it is the anniversary in their own way. So I said they're not going to get your Black Friday Monday when it comes to Halo Infinite as a game, but as a brand, they might snag you. So first and foremost is the limited edition Halo Infinite Series X console. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's going for $549. You can pre-order it right now, though by the time this video goes live, it'll be out of stock. I already have a Series X, so I'm looking at this going, pass. You know, that's the thing. I see a lot of like YouTubers and journalists and just content creators in general going like, pre-order, got it. And I'm like, you already have a Series X, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, what? Like, it's already hard enough to get a system. Do we really need two of the same system at this point in time? Like, when it's already hard enough to find, like, let someone else have it. You know, let someone else have it. That's my mindset, even if it's limited edition. But anyway, beyond that, the console is gorgeous. I love that they're celebrating it this way. I have yet to really cave into limited edition consoles of any kind because I'm very practical in the sense that I just look at the screen, right? So it's the same thing with controllers, which we'll talk about in a little bit, where it doesn't really do the trick for me, but I get why it's exciting, and they're beautiful to look at. And if it's like a set piece, if you will, in your living room, maybe, it's a good talking point. Someone comes in your house and goes, hey, what is that? That's my Series X Halo Limited Edition. You're a Halo fan? Boom. Suddenly you got yourself another date, right? This is a great talking point for the living room. But beyond that, they also have this Halo Infinite Limited Edition controller. It is the Elite Wireless Series 2, so it's going for $200. Look, I love me some cosmetics every now and then. I think we all are guilty of that from time to time. And I know that on a functionality level, the Series 2 controllers are fantastic. I don't know if I will ever pay $200 for that. I mean, break that down, right? Like, even on the level of, hey, I could get a Switch Lite for that price. I mean, there are so many things. Think of how many McDonald's Happy Meals you could afford with that. That's how I always like to math things out, McDonald's Happy Meals. But even beyond that, the controller looks incredible. I love the color layout. I love the gold on the D-pad. I think that the color palette, everything looks fantastic. But you will never catch me spending my money on this. Not even trying to be cheap. I know it's for hardcore fans, but here's my perspective on limited controllers, because I said I'm not really about this stuff. I want to just explain why. For me, it's that, you know, controllers in your hands, it's usually in my lap, and I'm looking up. I am never looking down. So I'm just holding the cool thing, but I'm never going to see it. But I am a fan of really cool designed Game Boy Advances, Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, because guess what? You're sitting there and you're holding it, it's in view. I actually see it. It's a part of that experience now. So those people who are hunting down like Skyward Sword Joy-Cons, that makes so much more sense to me. I'm like, you can see that when you're playing it. Yeah, of course you can slide it into the controller slots and suddenly it's playing like a wireless controller and you're looking at your TV, but you can also see it in handheld mode. To me, that's part of it all. But I'm not judging anyone else who does that. Just for me, I feel a bit materialistic when I indulge in that. You're talking to the kid who grew up on like Mad Catz controllers, all right? Those plastic pieces of crap that would just break every couple of weeks. Back to Radio Shack you go, you get another controller. But anyway, from top to bottom, those were all the new Halo announcements. And on top of that, the new trailer, which showed off Commander Agrinia, who's going to be one of the faces for Season 1 of Halo's multiplayer. Of course, also, speaking of which, with Seasons, we now know, thanks to the release date and based off what they were talking about with when Seasons would drop, 3 months later, Season 2 is coming, so you can expect co-op in Halo in March. This is important to note because when you start to take a look at, you know, the calendar, it's starting to fill up for 2022. Make sure you got your releases all planned out, like the ones that you're really looking forward to. Think about it, because these games are going to continuously get updated. I know a lot of y'all are excited for Halo and want to try every update and seasonal content that's coming its way. So just know that, because at least for me as a reviewer, oh boy, that beginning part of 2022 is way more jam-packed than the end of 2021. So deep breaths, it's all going to be okay. Anyway, that's all I've got for you when it comes to Halo Infinite. Cautiously optimistic. I do want to see more on the single player front. Multiplayer, I'm pretty convinced will be a good time. And of course, at the end, they do say that beyond Gamescom, there will be more technical previews. So do expect to play this game at least one more time prior to the launch of it. I think that's important. And I would be surprised if at some point in November, they didn't open up the whole thing for everybody to really stress test the servers. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you're thinking of everything Halo Infinite in the comments down below. Certainly excited to hear your thoughts. And with that, it's time for me to sign out. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.